Let's bring in NewsNation media contributor and executive producer of the Megyn Kelly Show on Sirius XM Radio, Steve Krakauer. Steve, good to see you again. Happy New Year. I don't think I've seen you since the New Year started.
I know. You too. Happy 2025.
Thank you so much. So as we await to hear from the president-elect in just a few days, less than 48 hours, let's listen to part of a speech from his first inauguration. It seems like a lifetime ago. This, of course, was back in 2017. Let's listen.
Politicians prospered, but the jobs left and the factories closed. The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country. Their victories have not been your victories. Their triumphs have not been your triumphs. And while they celebrated in our nation's capital, there was little to celebrate for struggling families all across our land.
Should we expect this kind of rhetoric the second time around on Monday?
I don't think so. You can never predict what Donald Trump's going to do. He comes out, he just unveiled a portrait that is a direct replicate of his prison mugshot. So who knows what he's going to do? But here's what I think what brought him into office this time was very different than what brought him into office the last time. There is this really interesting coalition that put together between RFK and Tulsi Gabbard, former and current Democrats, people like a J.D. Vance on one side of the aisle and others that are more establishment, and a coalition that is younger, that's more diverse. I think that he's going to be a bit more I don't want to say serious, but I think hopeful, if you will. And part of it is what is really the fallout from the assassination attempt, that insane, unbelievable moment in Butler that he survived within an inch of his life and seems not totally changed, but there's something a little bit different there. And I do think that that's what we're going to see a little bit more of on Monday.
Yeah, those images, I think you and I safely say it's just branded in our minds, truly will live in infamy. Major tech executives will be attending the inauguration on Monday. These are huge names, Steve. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. In Biden's farewell address earlier this week, he warned of the dangers of this very kind of influence. I have to ask, in your opinion, in your experience, are these concerns warranted?
I don't think so. I think that actually what you put up on that screen, yes, these are billionaires, these are tech moguls, but they're very smart people, and they are people that traditionally, literally give money almost exclusively to Democrats. And now they're sitting up there, and yes, they are giving money to the inauguration, and they're sitting on the stage, and they're not necessarily Trump fans. I think that's important to note. These are not MAGA all of a sudden. Mark Zuckerberg's not suddenly going to start being MAGA now. But what they are interested in this vibe shift, I think. And it's really representative of the entire new coalition that Trump has built. This is not the old GOP. These are the people that are interested in something much deeper than I think Donald Trump. It's something that is cultural. And I think will last beyond the 4 years we're about to see. So I would say cautiously optimistic about the way that this coalition has been put together. I think it's with free speech over censorship, and I think it's with freedom in general and for all, than the sort of the oligarchs, as Biden called them only a few days ago.
I want to talk about the entertainment, the superstars that will be performing. Country music star Carrie Underwood made a lot of headlines this week after she announced she will be performing America the Beautiful at the inauguration. Underwood and a lot of other artists have steered clear from taking a political stance in recent years, but defended her decision after she faced so much backlash online, saying this is not an endorsement, but a call for unity in a fiercely partisan political era. I do want to get your thoughts on the online reaction. Can we all, I hate to say this, it sounds like I'm minimizing it. Can we all get along after Monday? Can we see unity within the country?
Well, look, I think that there's two things happening right here. I do not think all of a sudden when you go on your X feed or your Facebook feed, suddenly you're going to see lots of kumbaya happening. Okay, those are the polarized areas that you're going to continue to see polarized, and I think even more so, frankly, after Donald Trump actually gets in office. But I think most of the country is not like that. And I think you listen to what Carrie Underwood said. She's not getting political. She's not supporting Donald Trump. She is saying something that is totally reasonable and rational and common sense. And I think most people in the country can agree with. Now, there's going to be some loud people on Twitter, on X, yelling at her. Okay, sure, she can deal with that. But I think that there are mostly people that are going to be supportive of this because it's supportive of America.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.